I now give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Thank you, Mr. President. We welcome the participation of President Kenyatta in today's debate as the President of the Security Council. We also note the presence in this VTC of high-level representatives of other countries. We are grateful for the information provided and the assessments of the UN Deputy Secretary General, Amina Mohammed, and the High Representative of the African Union on the Peace Fund, Donald Kaberuka. Mr. President, the Russian Federation supports the theme that's at the heart of today's event. Indeed, the challenges that face the world at the moment require all of us to uphold our previous obligations to maintain peace and security in specific regions, including on the African continent. The partnership between the United Nations and the African Union remains one of the most prominent examples of success, and at the heart of that cooperation is the UN Charter, first and foremost its Chapter 8. We welcome progress in establishing the African architecture of peace and security, a central role in which is played by the Peace and Security Council, as well as the Continental Early Warning System and the African Standby Force. Africans are becoming ever more active in the settlement of conflicts on the continent and are proving in their actions the effectiveness of the principal African solutions to African problems. We also have to take note of the mediation efforts of the Continental Organization in resolving various different crises, which unfortunately continue to rock the continent. We welcome the African Union's extension to 2030 of the flagship initiative on ending armed conflicts. Comprehensive support should also go to the innovative means of cooperation of the two organizations during the pandemic. We are convinced that for more effective assistance from the UN to help overcome the challenges facing the African continent, it's important to continue to expand the cooperation of the two organizations. Of particular importance is the fruitful cooperation between the UN Security Council and the African Union Peace and Security Council. We look forward to productive work in the two councils this year during the joint events that should take place in December in Addis Ababa, as also in the preparatory committee for those meetings in New York. We believe the African states are justified in raising the issue of the provision of material and financial assistance from the UN to their efforts to maintain international peace and security. We await the agreement of a common African position on the question of modalities for the financing of African peace support operations and the use to that end of the resources of the African Union Peace Fund. We believe that more attention should be paid to the growing terrorist threat. Terrorist organizations are continuing to take advantage of the pandemic to strengthen their hand. In that connection, we are particularly concerned by the continuing deteriorating situation in the Sahara-Sahel region. We are ready to share with our African partners the experience that we have in counterterrorism and to implement projects to build the capacities of countries on the continent to combat the threats of terrorism and extremism. Moreover, optimizing the UN's cooperation with African countries would also be facilitated by resolving the problem of illegal unilateral restrictions that remain in respect of some countries on the continent. In recent years, those measures have only been expanded, which undermines the ability of countries to combat the growing threats and emerging threats and challenges, including the coronavirus pandemic. We consistently call for the timely review of sanctions regimes introduced through the UN Security Council. They also should not have a negative impact on the ability of countries to combat organized crime and terrorism. to form effective security organs, and also should not worsen the humanitarian situation. Mr. President, our country intends to continue to develop equal cooperation with African partners on the basis of the decisions of the August 2019 Russia-Africa Summit, the first in history. We look forward to the continuation of this work during the second high-level meeting, which should take place on the African continent next year. Thank you for your attention.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for his statement.